Y'all, grab your popcorn. Cause things just got messy in the ATL. What started as a casual night out turned into a full-blown confrontation that left the entire love and hip-hop cast and the internet shaken. Jasmine is back. And baby, she's not holding anything back this time. In a jaw-dropping showdown that no one saw coming, Jasmine came face to face with Rashida, and let's just say, what she had to say was nothing short of scandalous. We're talking accusations, screaming, tears, and yes, even a little furniture almost got moved. Rumors had already been bubbling up for weeks that Rashida was trying to reconnect with Kirk in more ways than just co-parenting. And now, Jasmine is calling her out, saying Rashida has no business playing house with the very man who betrayed them both. But that's just the beginning. Jasmine claims she has receipts, and what she revealed during their explosive argument has left fans questioning everything they thought they knew. Was Rashida really plotting behind Jasmine's back? Did Kirk know what was going on all along? And why did a night that was supposed to celebrate unity turn into an all-out war zone? Witnesses say the moment Jasmine walked into the venue, the energy shifted. Her eyes were locked on Rashida, and the tension could be sliced with a knife. And then, the confrontation of the year unfolded in front of everyone: castmates, crew, even fans who managed to sneak footage on their phones. Whispers are flying that things got so bad, security had to step in. But not before Jasmine dropped a bombshell that made Rashida's jaw drop and left Kirk completely speechless. What was supposed to be a peaceful event turned into a battleground of betrayal, broken trust, and bold accusations. Trust us, this isn't just a spat between EXCs. This is reality TV royalty level drama, and you won't believe how deep it goes. Stay tuned, because what happened next will leave you speechless. This is the messiest confrontation love and hip-hop has seen in years. And baby, it's only just getting started. The night started off with glitz, glam, and nothing but good intentions, or so everyone thought. The venue was lit in soft purple hues, champagne glasses clinked, and the air buzzed with fake smiles and real tension. It was a launch party for a mutual friend's boutique, and the guest list read like a who's who of Atlanta's reality elite. Rashida had arrived looking flawless, styled head to toe in a shimmering rose gold jumpsuit, her hair laid and her energy calm, collected. Kirk was by her side, unusually attentive, whispering in her ear and staying within arm's reach all night. Some guests noticed, some whispered, but the biggest shock came about an hour in when Jasmine walked through the door like a storm ready to hit. Clad in a sleek black bodycon dress and a face full of war paint, she didn't come to party. She came with purpose. People started shifting, heads turned, phones came out, and Rashida, though she tried to keep it cool, visibly stiffened. Jasmine locked eyes with her from across the room, and for a moment, there was total silence. Like, the music, the laughter, the entire world just paused. Jasmine walked forward slowly, heels clicking like a countdown. The moment she reached Rashida, it was over before it even began. "So this what we doing now?" Jasmine said with a bitter smile. Rashida, eyebrows raised, didn't respond immediately. She just gave Jasmine that tight, practice smirk, the one that says, "You don't faze me even when you do." Kirk stepped forward, clearly sensing the wave of disaster coming their way. "This ain't the time or the place, Jasmine," he muttered, but Jasmine's glare burned right through him. "Oh, but it was the time and place when y'all were playing happy family behind closed doors, huh?" Gasps. Someone in the back whispered, "Oh no, she didn't." But oh yes, she absolutely did. Jasmine came armed with not just attitude, but cold, cutting allegations. According to her, Rashida had been texting Kirk again. Not about co-parenting, not about family business, but late-night check-ins, emotional conversations, heart emojis, the kind of talk that doesn't belong between a woman and her cheating ex, especially not the one who fathered a child with another woman. You acting like you moved on, but you sliding into his phone like you still own him. Jasmine snapped, her voice shaking with fury. Rashida's calm cracked just a little. Her nostrils flared, her eyes narrowed. "You got a lot of nerve coming at me like this," she shot back. "You the one who slept with my husband, remember that?" And just like that, it was on. Words flew like daggers. sharp and soaked in history. Jasmine reminded Rashida that while yes, she had a baby with Kirk, she never pretended to be someone's wife while living a lie. You keep painting yourself as the victim, Jasmine growled, but you stayed with him after the cheating, the lies, the secret baby. You chose that mess. Don't come for me now cause your fantasy finally shattered. The crowd grew quiet. Everyone was watching. Even the DJ slowly faded the music into near silence. Rashida, visibly seething now, took a step forward. Kirk, desperate to play peacekeeper, tried to wedge himself between them. Both of y'all need to chill. This ain't the move. But Jasmine wasn't done. Not by a long shot. She pulled out her phone. You want to act brand new, Rashida? Let's not play dumb. She tapped through messages, holding the screen up toward Rashida and a few nosy bystanders too. The text messages were hard to miss. Thinking about you tonight. Hope you're okay. You always had my back, even when I didn't deserve it. The room gasped. Kirk turned pale. Rashida's face flushed red. These could be fake, Rashida muttered, not even sounding like she believed it herself. Oh, really? Jasmine raised an eyebrow. Check the number. That's your phone. Boo! The tension was so thick it felt suffocating. Rashida's hands were clenched at her sides, trying to stay composed, but her voice cracked. You don't get to do this here. You don't get to ambush me like this in public and act like you're the one who's hurt. Jasmine laughed bitterly. You think this is about hurt? Nah, this is about truth. You walking around like you're some queen of forgiveness, but behind the scenes, you're still clinging to the same man who ruined you. And worse, you're trying to sneak him away from your own mess by acting like it's just conversations. Nah, you're still in it. More phones came out. People were filming now, fully invested. The boutique owner, looking horrified, tried to distract people, usher guests to the food table, but no one was moving. This was the show. Rashida, finally pushed to her limit, snapped. You want a headline? Here it is. I stayed with Kirk because I have a family. A real one. Something you'll never understand because you were just a moment of weakness for him. That did it. Jasmine stepped closer, and for a second, it looked like fists might fly. Say that again, she dared, her voice trembling with rage. A moment of weakness? That moment gave you a son. That moment exposed every lie you were living. Kirk's voice finally cracked, deep and desperate. Y'all both acting out of pocket. This ain't how it's supposed to go. But no one was listening. Jasmine, fueled by years of being the outsider, of being villainized while Rashida was praised for her strength, was done being quiet. You can call me whatever you want, but at least I never played perfect. You out here pretending you forgave him, but you never did. That's why you still checking up on him. That's why you still mad. You don't love him. You just don't want anyone else to have him. Boom! The line hit Rashida like a slap. Her eyes welled up, but she blinked it back fast. She wasn't about to cry in front of everyone. Get out of my face, Jasmine, she said through gritted teeth. Or what? Jasmine said, smirking now. You gon' throw another pity party and call it strength? Security finally stepped in. Two large men in black moved between the women, but the damage was already done. The whispers had turned to full-on social media posts. Clips were already going viral. Comments poured in. Jasmine went in. Rashida caught slipping. Kirk looking dumb as usual. And just when it looked like things might cool down, someone, maybe a tipsy guest trying to stir the pot, asked the ultimate messy question. So, are y'all both still sleeping with him or nah? The entire room froze again. Kirk's jaw dropped. Rashida turned to Jasmine. Jasmine looked dead into Rashida's eyes. And then came a long, painful pause. You tell them, Jasmine said, cold and cutting, or I will. Rashida's face hardened like stone. The question had struck deeper than any insult Jasmine had hurled. For a moment, she said nothing. Her lips pressed tightly together, her eyes scanning the faces around her castmates, strangers, bloggers with phones held high. Kirk stood frozen between them, sweating bullets, his eyes darting back and forth like a cornered man with nowhere left to hide. Jasmine folded her arms, her voice low but slicing. Go on. You always love setting the record straight. So tell them, did you and Kirk start sleeping together again while pretending to be done? Rashida inhaled sharply, but didn't blink. That's none of your business. The crowd gasped. Jasmine smirked with vindication. Exactly what I thought. You talk a big game about being done with him, but you out here acting like a side chick to your own husband. People were shook. Even Bambi, who was standing off to the side with a glass of wine, let out a stunned "phew child." Rashida's closest friends, who usually had her back no matter what, suddenly looked unsure, their eyes betraying the doubt they hadn't dared voice before. Jasmine had pulled the thread, and Rashida's whole carefully woven narrative was unraveling in public. You really think you're better than me? Jasmine hissed. At least I didn't lie to myself every night pretending a man loved me after he embarrassed me on national TV. That was it. Rashida's composure shattered. You don't know what love is. She spat, her voice rising. You think laying up with a married man made you special? You were a mistake, a regret. And every time you throw that baby in my face, remember he didn't even want to claim him at first. Silence fell like a guillotine. Jasmine's eyes darkened. Don't bring my son into this, she warned, her voice trembling with rage. He didn't ask for this. You mad at Kirk? Be mad at Kirk. But don't you ever disrespect my child again. Rashida didn't back down. I'm not disrespecting him. I'm telling the truth. You used that baby as leverage to get back into Kirk's life, and now you mad it didn't work. You thought you'd replace me? Sweetheart, I am the wife. Always have been. Always will be. The security guards were on high alert now. Jasmine took a step forward, her entire body shaking. You're delusional. You're clinging to a title that don't even come with respect. Kirk never changed. He just got sneakier. And you're enabling him because you're scared to be alone. Kirk finally snapped. Enough. Both of y'all. Stop putting our business out like this. This ain't love. This is a mess. He looked utterly broken. Jasmine turned on him. You don't get to say that now. You sat back and let her play innocent while texting you like y'all still together. You knew what this was, and you let us both drown in your lies. And just like that, a new wave of chaos erupted. Rashida rounded on Kirk. Is that true? You've been entertaining her behind my back? Kirk stammered. Hands up. I didn't entertain nobody. We was just talking. Jasmine cut him off. Talking? At 2 a.m. Sending kiss emojis. Kirk, stop. Own it for once in your life. Rashida shook her head slowly, her voice eerily calm. You lied to me again. After everything. After I stayed. After I fought for this marriage. You let me look stupid again. The betrayal in her eyes was undeniable. Even the crowd, which had been eating up the drama, started to look uncomfortable. This wasn't just reality TV beef anymore. This was real pain. Jasmine, despite everything, looked heartbroken too. I never wanted this to happen here, but you kept acting like I was the only problem. Like I didn't deserve honesty. Like I wasn't human. For a second, just a second, there was a flicker of mutual sorrow between the women, but it didn't last. Rashida stepped back, wiping at her eyes. You know what? You can have him. Both of y'all deserve each other. I'm done. But before she could walk away, another voice chimed in, one no one expected to hear. It was Rashida's mom, Charlene, who had quietly arrived and seen the whole thing from a distance. Now wait just a minute, she called out, striding into the center of the chaos like a general on the battlefield. Y'all out here acting a damn fool in public. You think this is cute? Grown women fighting over the same man who played both of you like a deck of cards. All eyes snapped to her. Rashida looked stunned. Mama, stay out of this. But Charlene was just getting started. No, I won't. Because I watched you cry yourself to sleep over this man. I begged you not to take him back. And now look you standing here getting humiliated again. Kirk tried to interject, but Charlene cut him a glare so cold it could freeze time. Boy, don't even open your mouth. You lucky I don't throw this heel at your head. The crowd laughed nervously. Jasmine, for once, looked speechless. Charlene turned to her next. And you should have been smarter. If a man cheats with you, he'll cheat on you. You didn't win nothing. You walked into a burning house thinking you'd be safe. Jasmine blinked, clearly not expecting to be read by Rashida's mama on top of everything else. But Charlene wasn't done. This ain't about just y'all. This is about a child, about a family, about self-respect. And y'all dragging it through the mud for Instagram likes and ego. The room was silent again. For once, No one had a comeback. Even the bloggers had lowered their phones. Jasmine looked at Rashida. Rashida looked at Kirk. And Kirk looked like a man finally realizing the weight of the storm he caused. Charlene exhaled, rubbing her temples. I'm too old for this. Somebody better fix this mess before it becomes a tragedy. And just like that, she turned and walked out, heels clicking with the finality of a closing curtain. Rashida stood in the middle of it all, breathing hard, eyes glassy. Jasmine, her voice raw, said one last thing before she left. I never hated you, Rashida. I just hated how you pretended I didn't exist. Like my son didn't exist. Like we were some inconvenience instead of part of the truth. Then she turned and walked out too, leaving Rashida and Kirk standing alone, surrounded by a crowd that no longer cheered, just watched with uncomfortable sympathy. And that's when the whispers started about what really happened next. Back at home later that night, the silence between Rashida and Kirk was deafening. The cameras weren't rolling, but the damage had already been done. Rashida stood in their kitchen, arms crossed, her phone buzzing non-stop with social media notifications, text messages from castmates, and gossip bloggers already tagging her in clips of the confrontation. Every angle of that ugly moment was now public consumption. You couldn't keep your mouth shut, could you? She snapped at Kirk without turning around. All that damn texting. You really thought it wouldn't come out? Kirk sat slouched at the edge of the couch, rubbing his hands over his face, exhausted and exposed. I wasn't trying to start nothing. I didn't want to shut her out completely. She's the mother of my son. Rashida laughed, bitter and sharp. Wow, now you care about her feelings? She turned to face him finally, eyes red but dry. I warned you, Kirk. I told you if you ever made me look stupid again publicly, there wouldn't be no next time. Kirk stood up slowly, trying to bridge the distance between them. Rashida, come on. You know it wasn't like that. I didn't sleep with her. She cut him off with a glare that made him freeze mid-step. You don't have to sleep with her to cheat on me. You think I care if it was physical? You betrayed me the minute you gave her hope. Kirk opened his mouth, then shut it again. There was no defense. Meanwhile, Jasmine sat alone in her apartment, her phone lighting up with comments, some cheering her on, others dragging her through the mud. She scrolled through it all with a blank expression, numb. Her best friend Kira was pacing back and forth, ranting. Girl, you went off. And I mean, I'm proud of you. Don't get me wrong, but you really think it was worth all that? They gonna spin this like you came to start drama. Jasmine finally looked up. I didn't start drama. I ended lies. Ain't nobody ever let me speak my truth, Kira. I've been the villain in Rashida's story for years, and I let it slide. But I'm tired of apologizing for someone else's choices. She wiped a tear she didn't want to admit had escaped. I just wanted people to know I'm not the devil they made me out to be. Kira sat beside her. Okay, but what now? Jasmine stared into space. Now, I stopped chasing closure. I said what needed to be said. If they hate me for it, so be it. At least I ain't hiding behind fake forgiveness. Elsewhere, the fallout was just beginning. Fans were on fire. Team Rashida and Team Jasmine hashtags were trending. Old footage resurfaced of Kirk's past infidelities. Even celebrities started chiming in, with Tamar Braxton tweeting, "Phew, not y'all fighting over a man who cheated in 4,000 every season. Praying for peace, not pieces." The Love and Hip Hop producers, meanwhile, were thrilled and scrambling. The footage was gold. The drama was real, but they also knew this was deeper than ratings. Behind the scenes, they reached out to both women, offering them space to process or film confessionals if they wanted. Rashida declined. Jasmine said yes. Her confessional was raw, stripped down, just her in a hoodie with no makeup. I know I'm loud. I know I don't play nice. But I'm not evil. And I'm not here to destroy nobody. I'm just done being quiet while everyone else protects their image. Rashida ain't the only one who got hurt in all this. And maybe people forgot, but Kirk hurt me too. Back in Kirk and Rashida's house, the silence finally broke again, but this time, it was Rashida who initiated it, and not with yelling. I need space, she said calmly. Kirk looked up, alarmed. What do you mean? Like a break? She nodded. Yeah, a break. A real one. I need to think about what I'm doing, about who I'm becoming, staying in this cycle. Kirk's face fell. Rashida, don't say that. We've been through too much. Exactly, she said sharply. We've been through too much. And you still don't respect me enough to shut the door on her. You always leave it cracked open. And that crack is destroying everything. Kirk tried to reach for her hand, but she pulled away. You love the idea of being forgiven, but you don't do the work to be worthy of forgiveness. He didn't speak. He couldn't. And just like that, she picked up her purse and walked out. Meanwhile, Jasmine was posting a quiet selfie with her son, captioned, "At the end of the day, this is the only man I'll ever fight for." The post blew up. Thousands of likes, thousands of comments, some applauding her strength, others dragging her for airing private issues in public. But Jasmine didn't clap back. She let them talk. Days passed, then a week, then two, and that's when fans noticed something strange. Rashida unfollowed Kirk on Instagram, removed photos of them together. Jasmine, meanwhile, stayed quiet online. No new interviews, no rants, nothing, just silence. Then Rashida finally posted just a single black screen with white letters, "Healing in silence. Don't mistake peace for weakness." The blogs erupted again. Speculation ran wild. Had they officially split? Was Jasmine involved again? Was Kirk single now? No one knew for sure, but everyone had theories. And then came the most unexpected twist of all: a leaked video. Security camera footage from a parking garage, grainy but clear enough. It showed Kirk arguing with someone that looked an awful lot like Jasmine. The video wasn't time-stamped, and nobody knew when it was taken. But it reignited every rumor. Was this before the party? After? Was Kirk still seeing Jasmine behind closed doors? Jasmine went live the next day, visibly upset. "That video is old. And no, I'm not with Kirk. Y'all gotta stop assuming everything means I'm chasing him. I've moved on. I've said my piece." But not everyone believed her. The damage had been done. And Rashida, she didn't say a word, not publicly. But sources close to her said she'd hired a divorce attorney just in case. Still, behind all the drama, there was something else brewing, something no one expected. Another cast member, Carly Red, decided to stir the pot even more. She posted a cryptic story. "It's always the one screaming the loudest that got the most to hide. Don't worry, the real receipt's coming soon." That one post reopened every wound. Now fans were wondering, was Jasmine hiding something? Or was Rashida? And what did Carly know? Suddenly, this wasn't just a love triangle anymore. It was a full-blown reality TV conspiracy, with secrets that were far from over. Within 24 hours of Carly Red's cryptic post, the internet was on fire. Every blog, gossip site, and social media page dedicated to reality TV had the same headline plastered everywhere: "Carly claims to have receipts that could end Jasmine or Rashida, but which one?" Speculation hit a fever pitch. Fans were dissecting every possible angle, clip, and past episode to figure out what Carly could be sitting on. Some believed she had evidence that Jasmine was still messing with Kirk secretly. Others thought Carly had dirt on Rashida, that maybe she had been playing the public while privately orchestrating her own shady moves. The tension was unbearable, and Carly loved every second of it. In a dramatic twist that felt straight out of a season finale, Carly posted again 2 days later, this time a screenshot of a blurred-out document with the caption, "This ain't about who slept with who. It's about who lied about what." Loyalty? Exposed. That was all it took. Rashida's name started trending all over again. Jasmine's fanbase turned defensive, while others began questioning if Carly was just chasing clout. But then, the hammer dropped. During the next taping of Love and Hip Hop, Atlanta, Carly walked onto the set holding a folder and demanded a sit-down with both Rashida and Jasmine on camera. The producers scrambled. This wasn't planned. The tension was still fresh. But Carly had leverage, and she wasn't backing down. "If you'll don't let me speak my truth, I'll do it on Instagram Live," she warned, waving the folder. With no time to waste, they cleared a set, brought in Rashida, reluctant and clearly irritated, and Jasmine, who was already on edge. When the cameras rolled, Carly didn't waste a second. "I'm tired of playing nice," she said. "Y'all Want to know why I said what I said? 'Cause I'm tired of both of y'all acting like you're the only victims. Meanwhile, y'all both been lying. Rashida crossed her arms. Lying about what, Carly? You just mad 'cause nobody talking about you lately. Jasmine added, you always pulling stunts. What now? Carly smiled sweetly, then pulled out a printed email. This, she said, sliding it across the table, is from a private investigator, one that was hired last year. And guess who paid for it? She pointed straight at Rashida. Rashida's face didn't move, but her eyes flickered just for a second. You had me followed? Jasmine asked, stunned. Why the hell would you do that? Rashida looked around, her voice barely above a whisper. I needed to know if you and Kirk were still seeing each other. Back then, he swore he was done with you. But something didn't feel right. I needed proof. Jasmine was speechless. Carly wasn't done. And guess what the PI found? Meetings, dinners, phone calls. At least 6 different times y'all met up over a 2-month period. And Kirk never told Rashida. Neither did you. The entire room dropped into silence. Jasmine looked genuinely blindsided. Those were co-parenting meetings. I told you I wasn't sleeping with him. Rashida's voice cracked. Then why hide them? Why not say something? Tears welled up in Jasmine's eyes. Because no matter what I do, I lose. If I'm quiet, I'm shady. If I speak up, I'm bitter. I didn't want to give anybody another reason to hate me. I wasn't trying to sneak. I just wanted to be left alone. But the damage was done. The trust between Jasmine and Rashida, already hanging by a thread, was obliterated. Rashida stood up, shaking her head. You had all this smoke for me, calling me fake, saying I was sneaky. Meanwhile, you was meeting my husband behind my back. Jasmine's voice rose, panicked. I wasn't sleeping with him. Carly smirked. Maybe not. But now the audience doesn't know that, boo. The streets love receipts. Jasmine stood furious. You just did this for clout, Carly. You waited until the moment would get you the most attention. You don't care about the truth. Carly clapped her hands slowly. And yet, you're the one caught up. Again. After that explosive taping, Rashida vanished from social media entirely. Her account went dark. She wasn't seen at events. She didn't answer calls, not even from close friends. Some speculated she had flown to L.A. to stay with her cousin and decompress. Others claimed she was staying in a hotel under an alias. But the Rashida everyone knew, the strong, poised, graceful queen of the South, was gone, replaced by silence. Kirk, for his part, tried to do damage control. He posted a weak apology video on his page, standing in front of a white wall, saying things like, I never meant for things to go this far. And I love my family and I'm working to repair the pain I've caused. But fans weren't buying it. The comments were brutal. Jasmine posted too, this time with a long caption. I never claimed to be perfect. I'm not proud of every decision I've made. But I didn't deserve this. I didn't deserve to be investigated, humiliated, and thrown under the bus again. I want peace. That's it. Just peace. The comments were divided. Some supported her, others dragged her to filth. But no one was neutral anymore. Meanwhile, Carly read. She booked 3 podcast interviews, announced a new skincare line, and suddenly had a seat at every Atlanta PR table. Whether you loved or hated her, one thing was clear: Carly had just made herself relevant again. And she was milking the moment for everything it was worth. Then, out of nowhere, another twist. An anonymous source leaked DMs between Kirk and another woman, not Jasmine, not Rashida, someone totally new. The timestamps: just weeks before the confrontation at the boutique. In the messages, Kirk was seen flirting, asking for photos, and promising discretion. The internet exploded. Kirk became the new target. All over again. Fans were in disbelief. After all that, this man is addicted to chaos. Rashida, please leave him this time. The pressure became so intense that Kirk deleted his Instagram. Gone. Vanished. No posts. No stories. Nothing. Just a ghost. But it was too late. The damage was done. And in the wreckage, the only people left standing were the women, angry, broken, but somehow still holding their heads high. And that's when Rashida finally broke her silence. Chatgap said, Rashida's return was not a soft one. It wasn't a photo dump or a quote post. It was a live video, raw, emotional, and completely unfiltered. She appeared on camera with no makeup, her hair in a simple bun, no flashy earrings, no polished aesthetics. Just a woman exhausted by betrayal. Her voice was steady, but the weight behind every word was undeniable. I've been quiet because I needed to breathe. I needed to sit with everything that's happened, not just with Jasmine, not just with Carly, but with myself, with Kirk, with my choices. And I realized I've spent too many years trying to protect an image that doesn't exist anymore. She looked into the camera with tired eyes, and for once, she wasn't the composed, camera-ready Rashida that fans had come to expect. When you try to fix a man who doesn't want to be fixed, you become the one who breaks. And that's what I did to myself, over and over. I forgave lies I should have walked away from. I stayed when I should have healed. I fought for a marriage that died a long time ago. The comments section lit up with hearts, crying emojis, and messages of support. Even those who had criticized her before were now rallying behind her. She continued, "To every woman watching, this who's ever loved someone who didn't love them right, I see you, I am you, and I'm done being silent." Then came the part no one expected. Rashida looked into the camera and said, "And Jasmine, I want to apologize to you." Viewers were stunned. The flood of comments turned into a tidal wave of confusion. Rashida nodded slowly. "Not because I agree with how you handled things, not because I condone anything that happened, but because I never saw you as a person. I saw you as a problem, and that wasn't fair. You deserved honesty, and you didn't get it from me or from him." Across the city, Jasmine was watching. Her phone lit up with messages. "Girl, did you see this? She's apologizing to you." Jasmine sat frozen, replaying the video again and again. Tears streamed down her cheeks, not because she felt victorious, but because for the first time, someone acknowledged her humanity. She posted a short message later that night. "Healing doesn't start with revenge. It starts with truth. Thank you." The internet responded with overwhelming support. Fans began calling for the women to reunite not as friends, but as survivors. Survivors of Kirk Frost. But not everyone was thrilled about the new sisterhood. Carly Red went live, fuming. "So let me get this straight," she ranted, pacing in her living room with a glass of wine. "Y'all dragged each other in front of the whole world, almost came to blows, exposed each other's business, and now it's all cumbia. Nah, y'all fake. Y'all only playing nice cause the fans flipped on you." Her comments were filled with mixed reactions, some agreeing, others dragging her for being bitter. But Carly had one more bomb to drop. "Y'all keep thinking Kirk's the problem. But what if I told y'all that both Rashida and Jasmine knew about each other's dealings with him the entire time and just played it up for sympathy?" This time, no one took the bait. Fans were exhausted. The drama had taken so many turns. Most people just wanted peace. But producers? They saw opportunity. A two-part reunion was immediately greenlit. Hosted by Mona Scott Young herself, the reunion was set to be the most watched episode in love and hip-hop history. And it did not disappoint. Jasmine walked onto the reunion stage first, calm, poised, and glowing with confidence. Rashida came next, the crowd cheering louder than expected. The two women hugged. Not fake, not stiff, genuine. Mona looked stunned. "I was ready for a cage match, but y'all came out here looking like sister wives." Laughter broke out across the audience. Rashida smiled. "We done enough fighting. It's time for accountability." Mona leaned forward. "So, are you done with Kirk?" Rashida took a breath. "I filed the papers last week. This time, I'm not looking back." The audience erupted. Jasmine teared up. Mona covered her mouth. "You filed?" Rashida nodded. "I have to protect my peace, and I can't do that with a man who thrives in chaos." Then came the surprise of the night Kirk himself walked out, uninvited. The booing started instantly. He held up his hands. "I just wanted to say something." Mona raised her eyebrows but motioned for him to speak. "I messed up. Repeatedly. I hurt two women who didn't deserve it. I was selfish. I thought I could have everything, and in the end, I lost everything." Rashida looked down. Jasmine didn't flinch. Kirk turned to Rashida. "You've been the strongest woman I've ever known, and I hope you find the peace I couldn't give you." Then he turned to Jasmine. "And I hope one day, my son doesn't look at me and see only the man who hurt his mother." With that, He walked off the stage. No applause. No redemption. Just silence. The final moments of the reunion were powerful. Rashida turned to Jasmine and said, "You deserved better. From him. From me. From everybody." Jasmine replied, "So did you?" "We both did." The audience stood and applauded. Even Mona wiped away a tear. And just like that, the war was over, not because someone won, but because both women refused to lose anymore. They chose healing. They chose honesty. They chose each other not as friends, not as enemies, but as women who survived the same storm and came out stronger. But the question still lingers. Was this the end of the Kirk Frost saga or just a calm before the next storm? Phew! If you're still catching your breath after that roller coaster of emotions, trust you're not alone. From surprise text, message exposes to secret private investigators, explosive reunions, tearful apologies, and the long-awaited downfall of Kirk Frost's House of Lies. This saga gave us everything. Jasmine and Rashida went from bitter rivals to shared survivors, turning years of tension and betrayal into a moment of true growth. Fans are shocked, emotional, and divided, some calling it healing, others calling it damage control. But no matter where you stand, one thing's for sure, the streets of Atlanta will never be the same again. But let's be real, y'all. Do we really believe this is the end? Rashida's divorce filing is still fresh, and we know Kirk has a way of crawling back when the cameras are rolling. Jasmine may have found peace, but Carly Red is clearly not done spinning her web of chaos. And don't even get us started on those mystery DMs with the third woman. So here's the big question. Is this redemption or just the eye of the storm? Now it's your turn to weigh in. What do you think? Is Rashida finally free for good? Should Jasmine trust this so-called closure? And do you believe Carly's claim that there's even more dirt hiding in the vault? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We're reading everything. Don't forget to hit that like button if you were glued to this drama from start to finish. And make sure you subscribe because you know this story isn't over. Turn on your notifications, cause the next episode might just change everything. And trust us, you don't want to miss what happens when secrets refuse to stay buried. Until next time, stay messy, stay curious, and remember, in Atlanta, nothing stays private for long.